श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
Namaskar, Sadhak Bandhu. I am Pranav, as well as also known as PK, and we have Maruti, also known as Kalasut. And we are discussing Abhanga Kathas. So there was a request from some of the followers and devotee brothers that Maruti had been narrating wonderful stories which has been part of different Abhanga Charchas and Navavida Bhaktis. But due to some challenges, like maybe they don't follow Marathi as such, and we only talked about the Sara of the Abhanga and not the Kathas associated with that in English. So if we narrate those stories or Kathas in English, it will be very helpful for their kids and other people around them, friends and family, that they can also understand the gist of the Kathas, how we have connected that with Puranas and in real life as well, how it is meaningful till date. So in that, to respect their request, we have decided and started off with Abhanga Katha, wherein what all we discussed in different Abhangas or Navavida Bhakti, those predominantly the Kathas were discussed in Navavida Bhaktis, as every Bhakti is associated with some character in Purana. So we have already discussed King Parikshiti as well as Narada. In today's episode, we'll be talking about Bhakta Pralhada, which connects with the Smarana Bhakti. So I request Maruti to, whatever we have discussed about Prahlada, Narsiha, Hiranyakashipu and all. So we will now, discuss that today in this episode.
Right. Oh, so the story of Pralhad is really very interesting, and his is quite young. So a lot of people will be able to, a lot of kids will be able to relate to what he says and what he thinks, etc. So basically, the story starts from Vaikuntha, where there is Jai, Vijay as Dwarpal and all of that. But we'll now for this episode, we'll concentrate on the story of Prahlada himself, from the place he is born. So Prahlada's uncle, his father's elder brother, Hiranyaksh, is already killed by Lord Vishnu in the form of Varaha. And therefore, Hiranyakashipu is now seeking revenge on Vishnu. And therefore, he goes for a very long penance to get power from Lord Brahma. In the meantime, Kayadu here is pregnant with Pralhada. Now, there are two things very interesting to notice here. One thing is Hiranyakashipu is planning revenge on Lord Vishnu, which in itself is an impossible task. But he thinks that he can take revenge, he can kill Lord Vishnu. That signifies, that shows his ignorance. That is what we also do a lot of time. We think uh, we can take over, or we can run this universe as a god, or we try to play god a lot in our life and others' life also. We keep we tend to tell everybody what to do instead of us doing anything. So this is part of the ignorance. So it's so Hiranyakashipu is within all of us. It's not just the story of the Puranas. Hiranyakashipu is still within all of us. Second thing is uh, he's seeking power from Lord Brahma at that point of time, and Kayatu here is pregnant with Pralhada, and so when he is doing the penance, all the gods are now frightened that he'll take over the Indraloka, he'll become the god and all of those things. So they are trying to disturb him in his penance, which contradictory helps him, because his penance then becomes very powerful. And uh, once they're unsuccessful there, they try to do is they try to kidnap Kayadhu, and also probably kill Pralhada, so that when he comes back, there is no family left for Hiranyakashipu. So they try this brutal and unhumane, ungodly event. Here is again interesting. Though they are given the designation of gods, they're doing something very ungodly. So just by sitting at a particular position, a person doesn't become that. uh, just because you become an officer or you become a doctor, or just because even like if you become a pithadishwar of some matha or anything, doesn't mean you become all powerful saint, sage, or a heavenly person. You have to earn it. You have to what makes a person is not the position on which he's sitting, his qualities define him. So the position should not define the person should define the position. So even today, when we speak about, we don't say the president has to be like Abdul Kalam. So Abdul Kalam defined how a president of a country should be. That is the example that we always give. We don't say uh, the president has to be like this. No, that is not defined. The president has to do particular duties, and that every president does, because that's how the Rashtrapati Bhavan runs. But what Abdul Kalam did as a president, that became a role model for everybody. So your qualities define that position. The position doesn't define you. So though they were gods, the demigods, they did an ungodly event. So Indra came to Hiranyakashipu's capital and he tried to kidnap Kayadu, and she was pregnant. He tried to kidnap a pregnant woman, which was very, very wrong, which was not at all, not for gods, even human beings shouldn't do it. So when he was kidnapping her forcefully and taking her away, Narada comes, interrupts, and he stops him. He says, Virendra, what are you doing? This is not the right thing. Is this how a god should behave? He he scolds him. He is furious at the actions of Indra, and he protects Kayadu, and he takes Kayadu to his ashram. Now there she is already carrying the child, and but she grows in the company of saints and sages, in a divine company. So every day Narada is telling her good things, spiritual things. She is listening that, and that is forming the garbha sanskara on her child who is growing in her womb. So after 9 months, she completes her term and she delivers. And the baby also starts growing in the ashram. So that the baby is so lucky that it is growing in the divine company of Muni Narada and all other sages who are present there at that point of time. The kid gets the blessing of everybody. And when he grows and he starts speaking, the first word that he utters is Narayan. Narayan or Hari. He utters the name of the God, because that is what he has heard throughout his stay there. Like since the kid is in the womb till he comes outside, and 1 year till the kid starts speaking, he's only hearing Lord Vishnu's name. So he speak. That's the first word he utters, and he grows there, and all of that. He happens. Hiranyakashipu there has his penance is complete. Lord Brahma appears in front of him, and he is about to ask for immortality. But immortality cannot be given, and we think that everything will run under our power, but it's after all, he's whatever it is destined will happen. So he's strict into asking. He thinks that, oh, why should I directly ask for immortality? I have done so much of penance and I am clever. I'll show my smartness. Who is this Brahma and who is this Vishnu? What do they know? He says, Lord Brahma gave me the boon that I will never die in the morning or at night. I should neither die with the astra or a shastra. Now, this is an interesting difference I recently learned. What is the astra and what is a shastra? Shastra is a weapon, which is a physical weapon. So if I take a sword in my hand, I'm holding a shastra. If I'm just shooting bows and arrows, it is still shastra. If I'm taking a gada, a club and fighting, it is still a Shastra. But if I take a bow and arrow, or if I take some other weapon like Sudarshana, if I chant a mantra and then leave it, it becomes a Astra. So something that is mechanically operated, तंत्र से जो चलता है, that is Shastra, and जो मंत्र से चलता है वो अस्त्र है. So that is why it is Brahmastra, because while leaving the Brahmastra, they chant something and leave. So Nagastra, Brahmastra, Parjanyastra, Agniastra. So these are all chanted and then shooted. So they are all astras, shastras. So I shouldn't die with astra or shastra. I shouldn't die inside or out. And I shouldn't die above or below. So he says he thinks that he has generated a complicated puzzle and he is going to ask for a boon. He asks for that boon. Brahma says, "Oh yeah, Brahma is, see the way the ignorance works. When we uh, uh, think, when we have that pride in ourselves, when our ego is boosted so much, we think that we are very clever. Actually, Lord Brahma is the god of intellect. So our buddhi, our intellect works because of his power. And he has the supreme power over the intellect. Hiranyakashipu thinks that his intellect is better than Lord Brahma. How, how is that even possible? It is not. He thinks like that and he thinks I am only smart. So he asks for that boon. And Lord Brahma says, "Oh, yeah, very, very smart." He smiles and he says, "Tathastu, you've asked a very smart boon." And he says, "Yeah, you'll get this." And he goes away. This person thinks that he has conquered mortality. Now I am immortal. Nobody can kill me. So now I can wage a war against Vishnu and kill him only. So he comes back. When he's about to arrive, Narada also drops Kayadu and the son back to Hiranyakashipu's capital. So they come to the Raj Mahal, Kayadu welcomes him and everything. And the interesting thing happens now. This person, Hiranyakashipu, has taken the boon from Brahma to kill Vishnu and get the revenge. This person has stayed in the Narad Muni's ashram, Pralhad, and the moment he sees his father, his happy end, he says, "What is the most beautiful thing you like? What should I get for you?" He says, "Narayana." Hiranyakashipu is furious to the last T. He is burning. The only enemy I have in this entire world is Lord Vishnu, Narayana, and my own son is singing the glory of Lord Narayana. How dare you take his name in my palace? Nobody here utters the name of Narayana. How dare you do that? So now Kayadu says, "It's a small kid, what you're getting so angry on him and all." And Hiranyakashipu now decides that somehow this Prahlada has to be separated from the concept of Narayana. So he takes him to his guru, that is the gurus of all the Daityas, Shukracharya, and he admits him into that Gurukul. And he strictly tells all the gurus, all the teachers, the Shukracharya is the head principal, of course, but there are other teachers who are teaching the lower kids and all, lower classes. He tells, somehow you should make him a person who doesn't like Narayana. He should hate Narayana, and that entire concept of Narayana should be brainwash him from the concept of Narayana. So he says that, and he drops his kid there and he comes back. Now there, when he's now the concept of Narayana is so imbibed, because it's not imbibed after his birth, it's imbibed from within his womb, like when the kid is still in the womb. So it's so deep rooted, so they're not able to take it out at any point of time. Instead, what is happening now there in the Gurukul is the teachers are teaching and leaving the class. In the off period, whenever there is a break, Pralhad is telling the glories of Lord Vishnu to other students in that Gurukul. So, and over a period of time, he created his own cult there. So he created all the Vishnu Bhaktas in Daitya Gurukul. Imagine the contradiction. So, so finally, instead of wiping the concept from, he is brainwashing the concept of Narayana from Pralhada's mind. These there are other people now who are chanting the name of God. So finally all the teachers give up and they say, Hiranyakashipu, please take away your child. All the kids here have become Vishnu Bhaktas. Now it's difficult for us to control. So Hiranyakashipu is furious and he says, something I have to do. We cannot let this continue. And he brings Prahlada back to his house. After this, how he tries to brainwash Prahlada from the concept of Narayana is very an interesting story, but we'll continue that in the next episode. Let's see, does Prahlada really get brainwashed, or who wins in this tussle between the father and the son? The father wins or the son wins is something that we'll see in the next episode. Until then, keep revising all the stories that we have told before, because these are also going to get cross-reference in future. Like the video if you like this conversation. Share it with all your friends and families, because I'm sure they're going to love these stories. And subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. And we will see you again in the next episode with the continuation of this interesting story. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.